So there was a recent interview with the series director of Dragon Ball Super. His name is Ryota Nakamura. An interview with him and the producer of the Universal Survival Arc, so the Tournament of Power. The producer's name is Satoru Takami. This interview just gave us some very, very interesting insight to why the Tournament of Power unfolded the way it did. But more importantly, I think we may have just gotten our first sense of solid confirmation that Dragon Ball Super will be continuing after March 25th. According to this interview, there will be something special at the end of episode 131 that likely relates to future stories after the Tournament of Power. Guys, I'm gonna be talking about that and a lot more coming up. This was a very interesting interview. But before I get into it, just real quick, guys, my name is Dooley. You can find me at youtube.com/Dooley. But you won't just find me, you will also find a community of over 61,000 Dragon Ball Super fans, a growing family, and you are welcome to join. You can do so by clicking the subscribe button below this video or the link in the description. If you do decide to do that, then welcome. Welcome to the family in advance. Also, thank you to Herms over on Twitter for these translations. Thank you for your consistency and hard work in translating all this stuff for us, bro. It is much appreciated. All that aside though, let's hop into this information. So let's start with the very beginning of this interview. It says that Akira Toriyama first drew the designs for Jiren, Topo, and Dispo, and at first he lacked any indication for Jiren's personality. So the anime staff, or the team of creators that worked on Dragon Ball Super, they planned on making Jiren a talkative character. Can you imagine that? However, when they ran this back to Akira Toriyama, he replied with, "Jiren is a character who doesn't speak." It was at this point that Toriyama sent them the backstory for Jiren and told them that Jiren's parents and teacher were killed. And as a result, the staff gave that original demeanor that they had planned for Jiren, they gave that to Topo. So Topo is more talkative, and Jiren was essentially a mute for most of the tournament. And listen, this is no disrespect to Akira Toriyama. He is obviously the GOAT and knows far more about making anime than I do, right? But in my opinion, I feel like I would have preferred to see a more talkative Jiren. A Jiren with a little bit more flavor, a little bit more cayenne pepper. One of my issues with Jiren was that for most of this tournament, there was so little to go off of. He literally had one facial expression the entire time. And it wasn't until recently that we started to see a bit more from him. We saw him smile, we got a bit of his backstory, and then now it looks like in 130, we're gonna see him really come out of his shell. And because of that, I'm finally starting to like him more. I'm finally starting to feel a bit more of a connection with this character. So I'm not saying Akira Toriyama was wrong in his approach. I'm just saying I feel like I would have preferred the other side, the side that the anime staff came up with, the creators wanted to do. The interview continued to say that Akira Toriyama is the one who said that Topo should be a god of destruction, but Jiren, Topo, and Dispo were the only three characters from the Pride Troopers that he designed. All the other characters were done by the staff, and that's likely why we don't know any of their names. In fact, don't Google it, don't cheat. I'm gonna give extra cool points to anyone who can name 2 or more of the Pride Troopers outside of Jiren, Topo, and Dispo in the comments below without having to Google it. Anyway, the interview continues to say that Ribrianne's fat transformation was designed by Toriyama, while the idea of having a cute girl transform into the fat character was added by the anime staff. Listen, I'm not trying to say that the fat version wasn't cute in her own way. I'm not one to fat shame. I like a little bit more cushion for the push-in myself, but that's what they said. Here's something that's really interesting though. Neither Caulifla nor Kale were originally designed by Akira Toriyama. That actually really surprised me, because after the interview Toriyama gave last year where he talked about S-cells, I thought that was his reasoning for coming up with Kale and Caulifla. But he didn't do that initially. It was during a conference meeting, the subject of Broly's popularity came up, and so the anime staff created Kale, and they made her a girl so she wouldn't be an exact ripoff of Broly. And then after they presented Kale to Toriyama, he created Caulifla to go along with her. I did not expect that at all, especially the fact that Kale came first, since in the anime, Caulifla is a more dominant character than Kale is. The interview continued to say that Toriyama's original draft included a document that described what happens to Universe 7 warriors in the tournament from beginning to end. So for example, it said Piccolo loses 2, and it also said who survived to the end. The document also included all the main points, such as the battle between Universe 7 and Universe 11. But as far as how that was executed, that was done by the anime staff. Now here's where things start to get interesting, because here's what we all care about right now. Ultra Instinct. Who came up with Ultra Instinct? It turns out that was Akira Toriyama's idea, including the name and the design. He wanted that to be Goku's new transformation, and he wanted it to be different from Super Saiyan. But Akira Toriyama's initial design and the one that we're seeing in the anime right now is very, very different. Akira Toriyama wanted Goku to look like Super Saiyan God, that skinny version with the silver hair. In the anime, what they did was they made him far more buff, and this was done by the anime staff, not Akira Toriyama. I'm not saying he disagreed with it, but this is the route they decided to go based on the anime staff's advice. And you know what? I think I like that look more. Obviously, I haven't seen Akira Toriyama's version animated, but I don't want to see a skinny Goku. I'm used to the buff Goku running around, beating the crap out of something. So I'm happy with that version. I'm happy with what we got. But again, here's another example of the anime staff disagreeing with Akira Toriyama's initial thoughts, and I find myself agreeing with the team, the staff, more than I agree with Akira Toriyama. I prefer buff Goku over skinny Goku. Anyway, here's something that's really interesting though. The reason why I decided I had to do a video about this interview. Takami, and this is the guy who is the producer of the Tournament of Power, he says that he thinks Toriyama was trying to set up further stories with the end of the Universe Survival arc, with the Tournament of Power. So here's the guy who is the producer of this arc saying that he believes Toriyama was using this arc to set up a future for Dragon Ball Super. And it doesn't end there. The interview continues to say, keep watching until the very end of the last episode. Apparently there'll be something special. Guys, if this isn't confirmation that Dragon Ball Super is going to continue, I don't know what is. Obviously, for whatever reason, they don't want to come out right now and say it, but there is absolutely no way, in my opinion, that the creators of Dragon Ball Super are going to start building hype for people to look out for something at the end of episode 131 relating to the future of Dragon Ball Super and then have it not be there. For me personally, I feel like this is confirmation that Dragon Ball Super, the anime, will continue after episode 131, because this isn't an interview done with fans of the series. They're talking to the series director and the producer of the Tournament of Power. But hey, I could be wrong. If I am, we are going to find out at the end of episode 131, which airs on March 25th, 2018. Let me know what you guys think though. Do you feel like this is more evidence that Dragon Ball Super will return after 131? Leave it in the comments. Let me know. I'll leave a link in the description to Herms' translation of this full interview. A very, very interesting read. Either way, that is all I have for you guys in this video. As usual, my name is Dooley. Be sure to follow this channel on social media, links all in the description, including Discord. Guys, I want you to do me a favor. That favor is have a great day. #DudeCrew. I'll be talking to you again real soon. Bye.